This stream contains fast flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised. Today, our remaining 4 teams make their Stage 1 debut, and boy, oh boy, we saved the best for last, because it's the NA Clout Classico. Of course, everyone, welcome back to VCT Americas, coming at you live from the Riot Games Arena in Los Angeles, California. You already know what I'm going to say. I'm GB, got Brendan Wyatt here to close out the week, just like the way we started it. Funny shenanigans. It's going to be great. We're really excited that you're joining us here today, folks, because we've seen 8 teams take to the stage so far. Here are our current standings and where the competition lies. Spoilers, it's going to be a lot of ones. Okay, just one game. That's all it is. But hey, for these one match wins, this is huge for them, right? Like, look at Cruvisa sitting at the top of the standings. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, listen, every single win counts early on.
I think I'm just seeing some kind of error over on the right with Leviathan being a 1.
Oh, minus 11? That's weird.
Given my prediction on day 1 in the standing segment that they would be undefeated.
Well, we'll get to that in a second. First, though, it was G2 who had an opportunity to start things off on the good foot against Furia. But Furia actually had other plans, Bren, as we started this one off. You were casting this one. This one was quite bizarre.
It was a weird one. They started off so strong, and then G2 just kind of woke up a little bit, I guess. Yeah. They realized, wait a minute, we're the finalists of Bangkok. Let's lock in for a second. And it's a struggle, honestly. With teams like this, you can have all the confidence in the world, but actually closing out games can be some of the biggest problems.
So that was a real tortoise and the hare situation in that particular game. In this one,
yeah, well, why don't you go ahead and tell us? Why don't you go ahead?
In this one,
because Xander's not here to back you up anymore.
I had higher hopes for Lev. I'm going to be honest, but I was very impressed by MIBR. Yeah. I was also loving how much fun it seemed like they were having playing together, especially when we got to that second half of Split. They were just flowing naturally, and they made the game look easy.
Yeah, they really did. And it was great to get an opportunity to talk with Ospas and Bruno, get to learn a little bit more about those guys as a team together now. The stocks are high for MIBR. It's looking pretty good right now. Now, of course, folks, it's Sunday, which means it's time for our Pulsar Flick of the Week. And this one is courtesy, I like the air horn, of Cloud9's Vic. This was from day 1. But look at these shots. Vic was nice with it. Finds this one and then decides, oh yeah, I'm going to just shoot through. Boop.
Yeah, there it is.
2 bullets.
That's
crazy work. Crazy work.
And now this is going to sound like I'm shilling, and I am, but hopefully I can do that with the TENS mouse I just purchased at the
Did you manage to get it?
I did buy one.
Hey.
There were 2 lines. There was the buy the mouse line or the buy the mouse and meet TENS line. And that one had like 40 people in it, so I just walked up and bought the mouse and left them.
You don't want to sit there and meet TENS?
I'll do that. I wouldn't have made it to the desk on time in that line, or I wouldn't be here.
Well, there's your Pulsar Flick of the Week. Congrats, to Vic on that one. But let's go ahead and move on to this matchup here, because today we're going to start things off with 2 games. Our Ascension squad taking on Evil Geniuses to start things off. And then later on, as I had mentioned before, this is where we check Nadeshot's blood pressure as 100 Thieves takes on Sentinels, and Rob Moore's blood pressure for that matter. And we see what things happen at the NA Classico. And of course, this is the day that co-streamers all around the world have been training for time and time again. But of course, there's a good chance that the economy might collapse before the stage is over. So what we decided to do is ask our players who they would go for financial advice. Oh boy. And this is a new installment of Profiles. Let's learn something.
Which player would I trust to invest my money? Sheesh. I would definitely trust Asuna to invest my money. Peter's actually helped me with my money, so I mean, I definitely him. He's actually quite smart when it comes to investing with money. I don't know if he wants people to know that, but too bad.
Honestly, I would trust Net to invest my money. I think he's really smart, and he was gonna go to MIT, I believe, at one point. So I'm gonna trust him with my money.
I would go with Coach Kaplan if I had to trust someone to invest my funds, because I do not trust a single soul on my on our playing roster to handle my money.
Quem eu confiaria com as minhas finanças, meu dinheiro, com certeza não seria o DG, muito menos o Cauã e o Twist, que eles são muito moleque com dinheiro, muito criança, eles iam acabar gastando tudo em roupa.
I would not trust any of them to invest my money. I have my own financial advisor for a reason. You don't mix business with work, you know, I'm business with friendship and everything like that. None of them. But if I had to choose one, I would definitely choose Calm. Calm is like a young man in an old man's brain. You know what I mean? Like he's an old guy in a young guy's body. He's very mature and he's like the dad of the team. So I would trust him if anything.
I'll go Trent because he's got a lot of like financial support. Like I know he has people like doing his. He's like gotten investing and stuff, and he does like. I don't know too much, but I know like he's deep in that. So I'll go Trent.
Yo creo que Meltzer, porque es el mayor, primero que todo el que más años tiene y también por su pasado que antes tenía que ver algo por ahí, así que yo sé que él me cuidará bien el dinero.
I trust Mitch to invest my money out of all my teammates because he has the best experience in life.
Okay, it has to be Superman, but I think that's because everybody else is terrible with money.
You know, I gotta say, for me, it would be Mimi because she's a recent landlord and I think she's quite good with money. So I think we'll go with that one there. Of course, Twitch chat, I'm gonna put up a poll because look, I feel like this show needs to be a touch more interactive. Wouldn't you agree? So why don't you go ahead and tell us what you want to happen? You got a few choices here. So choose wisely. And on that note, let's send it over to Brendan Wyatt, where surely nothing can go wrong.
No, absolutely nothing's going to go wrong with this one. Now, me and Wyatt, we're going to make some stage 1 predictions. And it's all based on the percentages, the percentiles. We've got 90, 50, 10, 90% chance to come true, 50% chance to come true, 10% chance to come true. I mean, Wyatt, listen, I know you've been thinking hard on this one.
I'm going to preface this by saying we made these predictions before any games were played this weekend.
Don't gaslight the people. Don't gaslight the people.
Oh, maybe shut.
Go down. Take a knee, puppy.
I have a 90% chance. I'm ready to fall to my knees in the target that Lev are going to qualify for Toronto. That's a tough one.
That's a 90.
What I saw yesterday. But they can bounce back. I'm not going to say I think they can, but maybe.
They can still make. Listen, one loss doesn't mean they don't make Toronto. They got 5 more games.
That's a tough one.
So
reveal the 50%, which feels like it should be more likely now. 100 Thieves go undefeated in the group stage.
Undefeated. Their group, soft, easy, little putty that they can play with.
Yeah.
Easy to
a bunch of school children, easily disposed of.
I respect it. I like it a lot. I respect it. It's bold, but 50%. That's not good. Okay. 10%. Reveal it. 10% chance that G2 lose a series during stage 1. So only 10% that they don't go undefeated.
Man, you were sweating in that game 1, weren't you?
Kind of cooking. Yeah, when Fury decided to be amazing for 10 rounds. Just all of your chances just going wrong potentially. Yeah. But I'm going to open up with some of mine as well. And I may or may not have forgotten what I went with again. But listen, it's going to be revealed to me, so I'm going to react like I knew it all along. 90% is, of course, 90% chance the Wyatt's Groupology picks for your Mega Bracket would be wrong. I think it's quite likely, considering your Lev one. How has he gotten away with it already? He's just right. He's just right. I can't even. That's quite likely. All right, 50% is.
Why did I do that to myself?
I'm gonna go for this one. Oh, 100 Thieves going on a run and stage. I'm gonna go the same. Yeah. What? Maybe that's why I liked it so much.
What?
It's just it's kind of the same.
So
you said undefeated.
Right.
Undefeated.
Make the voices go lower, please. Get this high pitched crap out of here.
10%. What is the 10%? What was the 10% likely to happen? And oh yeah, of course, 10% chance for Sen to implode, and then they're forced to do another round of
fundraising from fans to recover. And we're going really low with this one. Put that at 12%. 12%, we'll add 2%. That's repeating, of course. 2% on top of that one. 10%. Okay, we'll get Ramor to just do rounds into the crowd after this game, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But
just come back here.
Well, I'm coming back over to
Just come back here. Just come back here. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into our
first match of the day, shall we?
We can keep it going.
Rolling on back.
And talk about two game. Now, of course, this rookie Brazilian squad is coming into this one with a ton of pressure, right? Because this is, one of the Ascension teams that we're really big on coming into the season, and we saw what G2 were capable of doing as an Ascension team as well. It was really, big shoes to fill, I would say, Wyatt, for 2G. And so far, it hasn't been that great.
Yeah, this question on the current lower third on your screen, are 2G feeling any Ascension anxiety? Yes, they are. And also, there was something that Rich said in the first cast we did of this team when they went up against Turtle Troop Furia, which is that it must suck to come into your first game in VCT as the Ascension team and you're the favorite to win because the other team has a sub-roster.
Yeah.
Like, now, of course, that doesn't mean that they should still be losing that game, and they should be winning that one. But that is a blow to the mental where you come in as the favorite and you lose. You're crumbling.
Yeah, it was a tough one. And as a result of that, 2G ended up making some changes, right? One of those changes was bringing Prize over from, Prize moved over to Furia, and Askia is coming in from Tier 2. Look, I don't know a lot about this guy. I'm really curious to see what he brings to the table here.
No, I was looking for a VOD of Askia, and it was like a year old. I had to peer past the dusty tomes in the library to try and get access to this guy. But my big thing is this going to fix the problems for 2G? I think it's kind of unlikely. What they're suffering from is just this kind of, not just identity issue, but confidence issue, right? I think as well, which you were kind of alluding to, where it's hard to be kind of still not the favorites when you're playing against like a sub-roster that were just filling in for Fury at the time. So this is a team that needs to get their confidence back, and maybe a new voice coming into it can help with that.
This is some great footage, actually, that we were just seeing from his team Hero Base against 2G, because at the beginning of last year in Challengers, that team, Hero, where Dishizin was on, they were by far the best team in Brazilian Challengers, and throughout the year, it was 2G who were just consistent. I believe they placed third in every single split of Brazilian Challengers, and that got them enough points to go to Ascension, and then they level up, go on the run there, beat the best of the other regions, M80, etc., to actually qualify. So he's been a solid player, but, is he good enough?
Give me a minute.
What are you doing?
Give me a minute here. I just need to have a little chat.
You just walked over here.
With 2G. I know I did, but just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. I just need to chat with 2G, okay?
Go, have a conversation, I think.
It's okay. No, you don't have to worry about anything. Come on, take a seat. I just want to chat. 2G. Just talk to me about what is going wrong here, because 183 days since Ascension Finals, and this is what you're pulling up. Don't look at the exit. Look at me. Don't look at the exit. There's no getting out of this one here. I've got 30 minutes. No police interference with you, and we're going to fix you here and now. You can't be putting up these numbers against EG today, man. You just can't do it. You can't do it. Roll the footage. These are the fans. I've seen the best of Brazil, and look at this. You remember this? When Lauda lifting a trophy? I know you're not loud, but it's technically related to Brazil, man. Look at this. Look at you on the stage winning. Remember what it was like to win? Do you remember? What do you need from me? A banana? Like a back rub? Like what is it? Is it me? Am I the problem? Is it me? But I just need you to remember. Please, lock in. Remember your legacy. Please remember your legacy. Do you remember this guy at Spike? He's sitting on the sidelines. He's watching your team crumble. He can only play in stage 2. You need to lock in for Spike. Please lock in for Spike, please. Do it for him. Please do it for him. I beg of you. You can go. Go. Be free. And do better this time. Do better.
That was shocking footage.
That was like a fever dream.
Wait, we just come back to the desk?
Am I supposed to just do my job now?
Do we have to go back to analyzing?
Yeah, do we got to talk about the other team? You know what? For now, ahead of 2G's return, Triad caught up with the team's captain. Here's Zap. Wow.
2G are looking forward to turning it around for the stage 1. And Zap, that first kickoff, it didn't really go your way. So what are some of the goals that you have for yourself and for the team to make sure that it goes way better this time around?
We have been working like in some aspects that we think were not good for us, so this should help us to get through this first split. So that's it.
All right, best of luck today.
Thank you.
If there's one thing, in our opportunity that we had, hey, Brendan, look at you. You're here now. Are you okay?
Taking a casual sip of my water bottle with the label on, so I couldn't show it on stream. So that's on me.
Let's talk about, continue this conversation about 2G there. You heard Zap for a minute talking about the things that they were working on. We had an opportunity to catch up with Zap, when he was on the desk with us before as well. So we know that this guy's got the good head on his shoulders to be able to speak to this team, to be able to keep them on the straight and narrow. But the problem is, Wyatt, is that you got a lot of things that you need to fix and not a lot of time to do it, to Bren's very well-spoken point.
That is an issue. And coming in, we did really hype up Zap as a leader, and he deserves that because he was so influential at Ascension. Yeah. And unfortunately, it felt like that narrative kind of fell flat. But I do think it is still true, and he can absolutely help them bounce back. But who was really stepping up for the team? The unlikely hero, their sub who came in, Gobera. He was performing so well for them at Kickoff, replacing Spike, who was either their best player or kind of tied top 2 with Silence.
Yeah, and Gobera was having a game. And this is exactly, Brent, that you want to see, right, from the entirety of the team, but it's good to see it from Gobera here.
Now, I wasn't exactly eloquent when I was doing my personal intervention there with 2G, but there's one point that I really want to hammer home, and it's that you have nothing to lose in this instance. And I think that showcases, with a player like Gobera, you're filling in for a player like Spike that was essentially essential for the fact that they were able to win Ascension and make it here in the first place. This is your opportunity to really thrive on the big stage with absolutely zero pressure. A lot of players would kill for that. There's a lot of players under a lot of scrutiny, a lot of teams under a lot of scrutiny. But for 2G, and especially Gobera as well, as one of the highlights, one of the special highlights of this team, I need them to play with zero pressure, understanding that whatever you do from this point on in Stage 1, it doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. When the expectations are in the ground, you can do no wrong. So play with confidence. Because when they were playing, when we were watching them play, outside of Gobera, everything else was just looking like a wet towel, man, left on the side. Yeah. It didn't have the fire, it didn't have the passion. Do you know what I mean? And, there was no confidence with him taking fights.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it's also very uncharacteristic for teams coming out of the Brazilian region as well. Because
it's not what you associate with Brazilian players.
Yeah, we have seen that fire, that momentum, all that stuff. Yeah. It's massive for them.
That's what they had at Ascension. It was the duo of Silence and Spike who they're waiting on. But it was the two of them that either one, it felt like every game, they could take over. And the rest of the team around them were just very consistent. They were all playing really well. So to see that holistic drop-off was shocking. But to your point about now being the most of underdogs, teams do like being in that position. A lot of teams talk about how it's easier to be the underdog than to be the favorite. Well, they get to be the underdog now for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And I am excited to see what they've been able to do with the time that they've had between kickoff. Hasn't been a ton, but hopefully it's been enough that they can, get back in the driver's seat.
Yeah, without a doubt. Now, of course, you mentioned Silence here and ahead of Stage 1. We had an opportunity to speak with Silence about how 2G is feeling coming off of a rough kickoff.
Eu acho que uma coisa que a gente aprendeu com o Kickoff foi, como posso dizer, eu acho que a nossa comunicação, nossa afobação, eu acho que a gente teve muitos erros relacionados a isso, mas durante esse um mês agora que a gente teve para treinar, eu acho que a gente tirou muita coisa boa, que a gente está aprendendo e, como eu disse, a gente está evoluindo bastante. Eu estou sentindo, pelo menos no meu individual e do time inteiro, eu acho que dá para ver uma evolução nítida. Então, acho que é isso. Acho que agora que a gente vai trazer para o Split 1 vai ser uma 2-game muito melhor, que viu todos os erros e está aprendendo a cada dia, a cada treino com isso. E é isso, estamos melhorando.
Well, they're going to be looking to keep moving, keep practicing, keep growing. But on the other side of the field, you have Evil Geniuses. Now, for EG, they were your 2023 champions, right? But even then, they had a reputation as being the redemption squad. And that was led a lot by Coach Potter. Now, obviously, that team is completely changed out, not the same squad anymore. But it does feel like, at the very least, Bren, that same desire, those same lessons are still very prevalent in Potter's.
And this is a classic Potter quote that we bring up often, but it's a kind of making it known that EG is not a place where players choose to go. It's this second chance, a second lease of life in at least the Tier 1 scene as well. And that can be an amazing opportunity for a lot of players and can unlock them. But so far for EG, I'm not seeing the pieces coming together. In terms of the individuals as well, they've got a lot of weird stuff going on in terms of just like not consolidating roles for certain players like Yeaster himself. But what I've seen in the past of Potter as an individual and a coach, we always sing Potter's praises because we've seen her do it before with a ragtag group of players, and we know that potential is there, that magic potential that Potter could potentially unlock in this collection of players.
Definitely. I feel like we are looking a bit more down on EG compared to where they were at when they had to build a new roster for 2024, because they came out of the gate with more natural cohesion last year that I don't feel they had in this instance. And in addition to that, in the offseason, they were actually ahead on the meta, and they were the first team in Americas pushing Vice. They're the reason Vice became popular on Abyss. They started that, but then coming into the year, they kind of fell back in the meta race with the teams, obviously, that were leading the way with Taeho Breach, came out on top. They weren't tuned into that just yet. They weren't tapped in to that aspect of the game. And now with more time, certainly expect them to be there, more time to increase the cohesiveness that they were lacking.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, even with what they were playing, because, you know, reflecting on even what Ye was doing, right? It's a pretty big one because, you know, it's always exciting to see him. My guy was busting out the chamber in some of these maps, right?
That's not a chamber, that's not a Phoenix sometimes. And this is what I mean. I think the identity that EG are currently looking for, Ye is currently this glue player that's going to be filling in the position of whatever wacky composition they're currently thinking of at a given period of time. And sometimes it was working, but we're just not really seeing the pieces click too much. And that could be a variety of issues that I don't even dare to try and diagnose because I'm not inside the team comms. I don't really know what's occurring with them. But I know that there's potential with all of these players. We've seen multiple of them play at peak performances and you know, being in with either touching distance of lifting trophies or lifting trophies themselves. So we know that they've got that caliber beneath them. We know that they're capable of it. And yeah, it's just about, you know, waiting it out. Will we see it shine here at the beginning of stage 1? Will we see it finally unlocked? The trouble with this kind of format is it's disingenuous because you feel like you have a lot of time to work with in these groups week to week to week, but it can quickly slip away from you if you're not able to get the easy wins early on. Now, they should be heavy favorites against 2G today.
I gotta say, I really like the point that you made using the word identity. It got me thinking immediately, I don't know what the identity of this team is right now. I have no idea. Coming into the season, I kind of thought it was a forward meta kind of identity with the Vice thing that I mentioned prior, but now I don't really know. I'm thinking about what these players
do you think there's room for them to do their own thing?
I mean, yeah, there is. EG last year, they did their own thing, but it was only a 10% difference from the meta. But it was just little things like running Superman on Omen with a double controller look on Bind, where you can let someone like him really activate. And maybe they'll get to that place. Maybe they've gotten to that place in the downtime where we're going to see an EG with an identity.
Yeah, I guess what I'm wondering is what would give you guys pause? You know, you see these guys take the stage today. What is something that would make you concerned when you talk about identity with these teams? Is there anything that sticks out?
I think forcing players onto roles where they might be uncomfortable and they can't just lock in onto their position. It takes an exceptional player to be playing a variety of roles, I think, as well. And I think it's a lot to put on one individual as well, if that's the missing piece that you're constantly using to fill in the gaps. And whether that's Ye or someone else on the team, I don't know. I really don't know. But it typically doesn't work out. Now, we recently saw a team where it did work out for them quite a lot at Bangkok, and that was Izu, because that guy's an absolute demon. I mean, the turnaround that he had for T1 and for them to be able to win it was literally off the back of his flexibility and whatnot. So it can work, but it's a lot of pressure to put on one singular player. I'd rather, to your point, Wyatt, like, I'd rather them just focus down, knuckle down, maybe copy what other teams are doing in terms of their development. Like G2 are going super hard in like having Jorgamo as a centerpiece Euro, and then you've got Trent and Jonah P behind him as that breach Teo. You can go super hard into that if you want to as well and try and really solidify those roles.
Yeah, no, for sure. That is certainly interesting to see whether or not we're going to, like, what version of EG are we going to get on this stage today. But the person that's going to dictate a lot of that, it's Coach Potter, and she's standing by with Dryad.
Hey guys, I'm here with Potter ahead of the match against 2G. And Potter, something that you've always done is be willing to experiment a little bit with the meta. So give me your thoughts on the current meta and how that's going to fit EG for this stage 1.
I think it fits like a glove right now for us. We're working really hard on it and figuring out exactly how it can complement us a little bit better. But I love, and our team loves, the fact that we can bust out a double duelist at any time. Most of the duelists seem viable right now, some better than others, but there's a lot of experimenting, and I think we're getting to that sweet spot.
I'm excited to see it. Best of luck today.
Thank you.
To enter into a place beyond reason and logic. A place where expertise and absolute trolling live side by side. It's the middle ground between sanity and insanity. We're entering the coping hour. There was supposed to be a dun-dun. There was supposed to be a sound effect there. It didn't hit. Yeah. But here we are.
Okay.
Welcome to the coping hour, everyone.
Oh.
And this is where we cope hard for our teams. My team is going to be evil geniuses. That's right, folks. We've been talking about them this whole time, and I do have to say that hearing you guys talk about this squad, what they can do, what they can bring to the table, has given me hope. It has given me life. Hearing Potter talk about that this meta fits like a glove for them gives me hope. It gives me life. That is what I want to see. I think EG's going to the moon, dare I say, like the mad scientists
Buy
they
high,
are.
sell low. That's what they always say.
Yes.
That's what they always say.
That's what they always say.
Lose everything and earn it back from the bottom. That's what they always say.
That's what they always say. What about you? What's your cope?
Can I get a little hit, please?
You want a
hit? Tiny one? Please. Actually,
do you need a hit of cope?
I've been 20 years sober from cope. I don't need it, actually.
Okay.
Don't give me it. Don't even tempt me.
Well,
I know I just asked for it. What team? Sentinels, of course.
Sentinels?
Do I need to cope for Sentinels? Listen, this is a squad that made Bangkok. Surely I don't need to cope for them. But I think that they will bounce back from Bangkok. Bangkok was a rough showing for them. But do you know what this team has? They have a lot of resilience. They have a mature player in the form of Zekken, who is now one of the younger players that we've got in the league, but actually one of the most mature, I think, as well. And with Kaplan at the helm too, I think that they'll be able to navigate this rocky, tumultuous times that they're facing. You know, they're sailing the seven seas right now. The port side calls, the guy in the tower at the top isn't calling right. The wind's not blowing. They might be going straight into some like rocky shells or something like it. Something's going on there, but it's okay. Kaplan's a good captain.
They're going to hit the coral reef.
The coral reef might be scraping the bottom of the ship. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right. You know what?
Zekken's very good at patching up the hull.
Okay. The hole, according to Bren, is being patched up by
We can bring back the stew analogy too.
But now it is time to see Wyatt. What is your cope?
Don't do it.
Don't do it, man.
Don't do it.
Oh no.
Oh, I needed a hit of that.
What is it?
My cope today is for 2G.
Oh God, no!
Oh man, no. Brother.
Hear me out.
Yes.
Hear me out.
We're so sorry.
2G. They had a rough kickoff. Everybody knows that. You can't ignore that blemish on what will ultimately be a record of excellence.
Yep, I have eyes.
Okay, you have to go to the bottom to reach back to the top.
That's true.
Before that, Ascension. Did you see the way that they were climbing? Beat M80 at the very end. No one thought that they could do that. No one thought that they would be the team here today. Well-rounded team that we saw at Ascension. Talented, upcoming duelists, and on top of that, we've just seen one of their players, Prize, play just the other day with Furia, and he was going off. You could see how strong of a player he was. Now, ignore the fact that that was outside of the 2G system. And simply lock in on the point.
Okay.
But that he was on 2G, which shows that the players have the skill. They have the talent.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just about the team gelling back together, coming back
Was it my speech that may have swayed you as well?
That had nothing to do with it. Had nothing to do with it.
Not even an inch? Nothing at all?
No,
from that?
really
Fellas,
didn't. Really,
the coping is complete. Let us see
no
if
one
the
is
copes
convinced.
took hold and check our predictions.
Oh my God!
What in heaven's earth are you doing, Wyatt?
I just had to take another.
You're taking another huff? You're taking another huff there, you animal?
I'm smelling something in the air.
Yeah,
and it might just be the cope in my nostrils. But I am going to go with 2G today. They're the big underdogs. They had something to prove after being dismantled in Kickoff, where we saw an EG that they didn't even know themselves yet. They would have had to have gone on a month-long retreat.
Give me some of that coke, please. Just give me some of that coke over. Pass the coke, okay? Pass the coke, please. Thank you so much. Just got to move this over here real fast.
I think that I didn't even believe my own speech.
I think 2G
to be honest.
I think they're underrated.
Listen, I didn't even believe my own speech of what I was spitting there.
Take some.
It could
I know you're sober, but
I don't need it, bro. I don't need it.
I genuinely think they're underrated. They have a chance. I'm not doing this for attention.
This isn't a bit.
This is the real me.
All right.
This is the real me.
All right. Time to find out, folks, how this all plays out. It's time to get the show started and close out week 1. It's Wyatt's favorite team, 2G, going up against Evil Geniuses. And then, of course, you have Sentinels going up against 100 Thieves, a match everyone has been excited for all weekend long. VCT Americas starts right now.
Cara, a partida contra EG vai ser uma partida muito pegada. Eu sempre quis enfrentar um time que era liderado pela Potter. Tenho uma grande admiração pelo trabalho dela. Então vai ser uma briga de adaptação entre a gente e quem errar menos vai ganhar.
Vai ver, viu? Gaslit tava esperto demais, mas o LZ garante mais um abate. Tem a passagem.
And again, position concealed, now given away. He's found one. 2 more to be claimed. He's gotten it down to the hardest part. He's gonna try to TP away. Oh, just barely finds the timing to get out. On the tap, another Red Bull clutch for Evil Geniuses.
Against 2G, I think we're all like super confident. They obviously had a very bad start to the season, I would say. When you were like just the bottom team, I think there's really hard discussions to have to try to improve at like an accelerated speed. And some teams can do that. It'll be exciting to see how they've developed as a roster, but I think we're like really confident against them. We think it's easy to.
Acho que o ponto que a gente quer provar não vem só do dia 1. Acho que a gente quer provar que a gente está evoluindo e que a gente foi campeão e a gente merece estar aqui.
And here comes your Ascension squad from Brazil. Put your hands together for 2G. And 2G, as you heard in that video, right, from the players, from the EG players, they know that 2G has a lot of pressure on them here. And they might be, one thing you can't do is look over these guys, but there is a big opportunity here for 2G, Wyatt, to do the craziest thing.
I hope the weight is off their shoulders and they're going to go in today having some fun while trying to win, because they were way too concerned with losing in Kickoff. They had negative aura, no confidence within the players, no whimsy with the players.
Yeah.
It's a mental reset necessary, and I believe they can do that.
Yeah, and they're most certainly going to need to do that, because here comes their opponents. Welcome to the stage, Evil Geniuses. And with Evil Geniuses coming out here, this is certainly going to be a great opportunity to show Bren what they have been working on during that time off between Kickoff and Bangkok.
And EG, typically a team we would associate, I think, as they've got that underdog mentality. Not in this game, I don't think. Not in this game at all. They are the favourites. I think most people will be claiming that based on what we saw from Kickoff as well. Puts it in a different light, I think, for them as well, and how they're going to be thinking about this upcoming match that they've got against 2G across the stage, because it's a rare one, to be honest. But a great opportunity, I think, for them to showcase what we were really wishing for when we were talking about them on the desk, to consolidate their identity, to actually find a path forwards here for stage 1.
Could definitely see some fire from the 2G players, especially Zap, who is the emotional leader of the team.
It's a hard job to do,
He
man.
was not doing nearly as much standing up and honest 2009 land behavior, yelling at the other team in Kickoff like he did at Ascension. I want to see that passion back.
That's what you got to do. Now here's your series layout. We got Haven and Lotus on the docket, and if necessary, we'll go over to split 2G, picking Haven to start. You got EG on the attack.
That's interesting that 2G going to Haven. I mean, listen, there's going to be some bad memories from Kickoff for them playing on that map in particular. And what I wasn't liking from them was their just general attack side macro. They were slow, they were sloppy, they were sluggish when they were running out of ideas. There was a lot of contacting around the map without really a clue, like an objective to go into. First wave, we take an area of the map. Second wave, we go into something else. That was missing from them. Not just that, it was the confidence factor. Now, if they fix the confidence factor, I'm looking at this game in a bit of a different light, but it's a hell of a challenge they've got off the rip, considering what we saw of them last playing on Haven.
Definitely. I think the map as well, at the moment, compared to some others in the pool, does lend itself to some more dynamic comps. You can run the ISO Yoru double duelist look if you want. We've seen teams still find success just running all reliable Breach, Sova, Jet, etc. And we've seen teams find success with the Breach Taeho look. So interested to see where either of these teams are going to try and take the meta. As of right now, they've got different options.
You can see where, for the 2G players as well, right? A lot of, they know the pressure of the moment, the tension there, right?
But my argument is there shouldn't be this pressure. Enjoy the moment. You know that you haven't been set up to succeed because of outside circumstances. You're not playing at full string with the roster that even got you into this spot. Have fun with it. There's not many chances you get to play in Tier 1. There's not many chances at all that you can play on the stage with absolutely zero expectations in terms of what you're supposed to achieve. So it's the best time to shine, in my opinion, when that, pressure just should be just going off their backs like a duck in the water. There really shouldn't be that level of expectations placed on them. But if they don't fall into the same traps, then okay, I like it.
I like this. I like this. I think this is honestly, this is the exact comp I wanted to see them run.
Yeah.
Lean into the chaos, and if we get Silence on the right day, we didn't get to see the Kickoff, but he is phenomenal.
Okay.
Icy coming in hot.
Wow, I mean, this is just the old traditional comp, but Waylay instead of Jet. We heard Josh say yesterday in his interview, the best Jet players are just playing Waylay now. So, hey, there's an example of it. One of our Jets just swapping over 1-for-1, same old comp.
Wow, very interested to see how the Waylay plays on this one, but it's now time to send this one over to your casters. Only one of them was alive when the Phantom Menace came out in theaters. Here's Mimi and Ender.
That's so incredibly out of pocket.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, wait, when did the Phantom Menace come out?
I don't even know.
It had to have been me, but
the majority of our viewers weren't alive either, let's be clear. We're hopping into this one, though. 2G, EG. It's a brand new meta, new agents, and no surprise, Potter's pulling out with the Waylay.
Look, some people are telling me this is going to be even better than pod racing. I can't wait to see what they've cooked up here.
That's great.
With the Waylay. I mean, look, he's going to try some spinning. I've heard that's a pretty decent trick. But honestly, I'm excited to see what Icy's got in store here on the Waylay.
Yeah, I think him and Ye impressed as a duo, even though it was a pretty rough kickoff for EG. Same for 2G, but here we go. It's time for the Samsung match start. Load up fast with Samsung SSDs. We're into the pistol round, and EG heavily postured for a C-split.
2G walking down mid early on. Askia on the Yoru finds the first kill, so new to the stage gets that one for the team.
Here goes Icy, though. Ready with the dash. And that pullback as well. Through this site, Gobera holding down strong, but the players of Garage still a bit late. LD has a chance, converts on it. And now it just comes down to the EG members on this site. They flip the map and get a great first kill there onto Gobera. Settles down for but a moment.
Still uncomfortable to actually plant the spike, especially with the dart, tagging multiple players. Evil Geniuses gonna slow things down for the time being while 2G calling reinforcements into CT.
Askia has one more flash to go. Nature another tap.
Fakes on fakes.
Trying to bait out this retake. Finally, 2G make their attempt. Through Garage, LZ immediately dead, so just the players towards spawn, and Icy swings out, finds a double, and it's a 1v1, but the IGL, he's got it under control. 2G, they grab the pistol.
Oh my god, Zap is letting them have it right now. Getting loud up there on the stage, like I'm hearing from up in the booth.
That's what we were missing in Kickoff. If you watched Ascension, the Ness is talking about it, you know this guy was standing up. He was yelling. He was giving it to every team he played against. So it's damn good to see him finding that energy in Americas.
This post plant was a little crazy. Icy finding the 2 kills, but yeah. Zap adjusting here, winning the round on 18 HP. That is wild.
I've never seen a man more hype about a pistol round. All right.
That's the energy we were waiting for. So 2G start off with the early kill. The early round win. Now Oskia goes to the Outlaw on round 2. Set up over on the A side to start things up, and we'll creep up in towards lobby off the Dart.
Well, we have Nico, and I want to ask you, how do you think the Waylay plays on this map versus, say, the Yoru comps that have gotten more popular or a more classic Jet like teams always used to play?
It's kind of that like hybrid almost of a Yoru and a Jet, where you have the similar style like Jet execs jumping into a site with even deeper reach. And of course have that get out of jail free. So you can actually run some pretty cool fakes with that. There's a lot of people going to jump in here. Oskia jumps on back, no problem. I think it'd be very powerful.
Hello! I mean, there's an example for you. You couldn't even see Icy on Oskia's screen, and now there's a bit of a devious lurk working the way through spawn.
Yeah, going all the way deep, so giving a lot of time for that lurk to go down. Good kill by Silence, but you can see EG have left the Waylay on the A site while Ye keeps moving, and the spike in spawn goes back towards the C side.
And 2G's retaking A. No one's home but Icy, and that's a great first kill for him. Can he do any more? No, but he did his job, and the spike will come down uncontested.
Here's the thing, though. They're going to hear the spike eventually going down on C, but no one's ready for Ye to have lurked all the way up here.
Z not checking. Dies for it. And now Gobera has to win the 1v2.
Ye's even lurking around in spawn. Bear's going to find his back, so things equalize, but it's Bulldogs in the hands of both two players, and Nature's fallen all the way back into long.
Gobera has a cage.
Cage to play with a camera too, but with so little time, he's going to have to actually put pressure down on the spike, and that's where the flash comes into play. The stun is going to be there off of the first tap.
Oh, 2 cages. There was one place as well, Gobera.
Wait, he can
gets
just
it halfway
this.
on the first, second cage. He's holding things down. Nature has got to spam. Nature finds him just in the nick of time.
Just a robbery of a round there. EG lose the first kill. Again, Oskia finds that, but using the Waylay double dash, getting quickly down into long.
Yeah, I gotta see that again. Good movement tech on display from Icy there. Here it is. Up into the sky, straight in front of him, and then jumping off the side with the shorty.
Yeah, kind of the worst weapon to try and fight against that too with the Outlaw, right? So good when people are swinging corners into you, but not so much when they're coming above you, behind you, in front. Not so easy.
2G now down to just the Sheriffs. Gonna go for a pretty classic ISO Yoru round. Fight into A.
What I'm more curious about working this Waylay into comps for EG is what does it look like on slower rounds? Like when are we actually going to be using the Hinder to combo with Breach utility, Sova utility? Not so powerful as maybe having a Tejo next to the Waylay for those instant kills, but can still get a lot of work.
EG walking up, straight into EG's trap. Very nicely dealt with from them. It's just so funny watching him fly around.
He's just still dashing, having a good old time, no problem. It's a very classic controlled EG anti-eco, even just playing the boosted angle from Supa.
Yeah, I do love this agent for Icy, because if you are asking a man to just hard entry into a site, I think Waylay is like the most annoying agent to deal with on the dive, because she can be zipping up into the sky, past you, going any which way, breaking crosshair placement like crazy, and then that gives pretty free openings for the rest of the team to scale in and get those trades.
Yeah, wasn't it last year on G2 where they were saying, yeah, Icy's just the role player first, we send him into the site, you know, break crosshairs, whatever.
Congratulations, we have an agent for that now.
We can do that and also live.
Yeah.
It works wonders. Interesting smoke putting that back plat to counter out an op or anything like this.
Trip broken on the entrance. Icy will pull back, and that'll expire his refract here.
And the thing about a smoke like that, hold on. Just kill on the spam.
A little unlucky for Derek there.
The smoke they're putting on plat, because Waylay doesn't have a smoke herself, normally Jet could like smoke dash into that either top side or on plat, and you can use sort of your omen smokes as a way to guard your duelist going into the site.
Look at the walk up here from 2G. Oskia alone towards A. EG's gonna look for a reclear. He has a gate crash on A. But the flash is up and he just chooses to get out of there. An ult popped. That's from Zap. Can he find a connection? No one really to receive it. Ye's lurk activates for a kill. Now the ultimate used from the Waylay, and Oskia is stuck on this side. He has no way to get out, but Zap backs him up. Supa alone. Oskia good for it. He's holding strong, but not for long enough. That's to Nature. And now it's just Zap on A, but EG's not headed here.
Yeah, into mid. Ye just broke a tripwire, so full awareness from Silence. is going to deal with that, and that puts Nature in an almost impossible situation. 1 against 3.
20 seconds left. His only choice is to go back into A.
And it will be Zap playing over in the corner. Really tough angle for Nature to clear, especially with 10 seconds left. He's got to run and try to plant this spike. With full audio, the Vuln comes in, Zap takes him down.
So 2G, a nice recovery there. Taking some liberties, walking up all the way through A, keeping some great info there, and then just showing a nice, honest A flood retake.
Yeah, and even though Icy was able to use the ultimate to hit the site, you can see some of the weaknesses of that Waylay ultimate. It's not like a breach ult where it lights up the entire site.
Yeah.
You still had Askia able to just back over into the corner, over against Graffiti, get out of that, and deal with the players entering the site.
It's also not wiggling your crosshair in the same way a stun is. It is a lot easier to get that like first shot down pad and actually
hit.
fight through the hinder.
Yeah, just don't jump or pull out a different gun, then you're cooked.
Askia again contesting towards A. This time EG, they're walking up in this area.
Yeah, EG are just trying to bait out this fight. Because they have the breach ult, oftentimes you'll see, you know, defending teams try to fight you in a lobby or refight you down into long once you've set up and taken into the space. So EG are taking their time and waiting for that to come in.
Against Ice or Yoru, you also want to be denying those ult orbs. Refight for 2G.
So I'm talking about though, right? EG wait that out, don't leave themselves in position for it. So now they've seen, what, 2-3 players over towards that A side. They can reset into mid. Only a minute left on the clock, but now's the time to break Cypher utility and threaten going for a split into that C.
And basically still full utility for Evil Geniuses. Trip broken in Garage. They have a nice setup for a split onto an uncontested C site. It looks like 2G's just going to try and play retake again. No, they're getting out. In goes the Paranoia. So at least one member committed onto this site. The all-both players stunned, but Icy gets the better of it there, and 2G locked out for now.
Still a moment of pause right now as 2G have an ultimate to retake into the site. Dimensional Drift now popped. Askia spots the one in towards backside. That's 2, 3, 4. So the rest of 2G are soon to follow LZ in silence. Get some work done from back on site, and Askia flies on forward. It's a 1v1 on site. It's a 1v1 in the Spirit Realm, too. Popping on through the smoke. It's EG winning out just about everywhere. And Askia turns it around for 2. How did he do that?
Incredible from Askia. The substitute player coming in has the perfect position and clutches up the round with a 1v2.
Anyone else think they can kill a god?
I think he was just camped out on site, saw where the Yoru or the ISO ult had happened from,
and just
was
waiting for the player to come out. Yeah,
exactly.
That is a sick Red Bull clutch. And those kind of big rounds, those hero moments, they were missing in Kickoff for 2G.
And it's so hard for Icy to play that right there, because coming out of the realm, you don't know where anyone's going to be.
And look how much Zap is feeling it. Wasn't his clutch to win, but he and the team getting excited off of it.
Maybe an attempt at a fast round from EG, or just once again seizing the same main space, a little teleport into the corner from Supa, jumping forward, catching out Askia before he has the chance to teleport out.
Can't be dying on those angles as the Yoru. Puts 2G in a really rough spot now.
Well, I think previously EG had been flashing onto that line and then swinging. That time, Icy got out in front of it. Nature didn't even use the flash, that Q that Askia had been taking to teleport out the other few engagements. Just wasn't there.
Icy spam down from heaven. Smoke a little late, but the trade is good out of Nature. And EG, yet again, they meet resistance and they pivot.
Yeah, and it's always pivoting into Ye. His lurk's been very effective. The pistol round, a couple rounds back too, winning the 1v1.
Or is it? They wait outside A, maybe a chance to re-hit into this space late round.
Seeing if they can pull some rotations. Seeing if 2G will just try to re-peek back onto the line. You can see that Silence is getting a little nervous.
2G though, still have a trip garage, a cam down C-Long. They have great info here.
Re-hitting with that ultimate though. Gives full information of EG. See 2 players backside, sets up a stun absolutely perfectly. These players are just bombarded by utility, but the scaling isn't quite there. Without Icy into the fray, it's gonna be Supa jumping out of heaven after the teleport from backside. Nature deals with them. 4 kills for him on the round, and EG take it.
In a flash, EG winning that one out. I think very good patience from them, realizing when they got stalled out, waiting for that perfect moment to get past the utility, and turning out very successfully. Nature has been, I feel like one of the most underrated players in Americas. Obviously, EG has not been super great since he's been on the roster, but I feel like he's always been
fam! Come on!
so consistently good for this team.
Yeah, the thing that impressed me with EG during kickoff was Icy and Ye sort of fighting together, especially on the defensive side. So seeing him take the reins on the attack, gonna be powerful. There you go, anti-eco outlaw purchased.
Another eco round for 2G, another fight into a lobby, and EG, same anti-eco setup where they're just full containing.
I have liked how EG have called a lot of these rounds. You know, they saw a few rounds back this Cypher camera put on the B site, and what they did was they just put a front B smoke down. Once they heard that camera clicked into, it actually pulled multiple players of 2G onto the site. That was when EG were going for their C split. So if they get audio on that camera again, I think they're going to be trying to go for a similar type of play.
Right there.
Garage is a bit of a gap right now, and Huskia, again, caught on the walk up.
Icy's already got the convergent paths back up again. It's the ultimate, if anyone's wondering. But now just a camera placed down into garage for a little bit more information. If you don't see anyone there, I think EG are going to be mindful that Gobert could have crept up into this corner. Surely, right? Yeah, EG deals with no problem. And the flank, too. It's just a little bit too simple for them as, yeah, silence. You're not going to get anything done backside there with the Sheriff.
I love that whether he has his abilities online and he's ready to refract out of there, Icy's just jumping around every single corner this game. Like, if you're holding an off angle, he's going to jump at you, you're going to get triple swung. It's been tough thus far, but guns coming back online for 2G. Finally, some ultimates getting close to being in play.
Looks to me like someone's calling a timeout. All right, it's going to be 2G. Time to reset. And honestly, for them, I feel like 2G have been very focused around these early A lobby fights, right? And EG have been matching them blow for the most part. But then they've also been sticking around in that space, trying to refight onto those angles. I think it would serve them well to try and do some hunting in this mid space. You think about how many times Ye's just be able to walk up into garage, sit on out there. I think 2G might want to play the center of the map a little bit more.
Yeah, either that or trying to get more info down C long. They found a lot of value with just camming there at the beginning of the round and having info for basically the entirety of that round. What do you think about Waylay's ult? It's kind of a weird one, because it feels like situationally it can get a lot of value, and it's nice when you combine it with stuff, but on its own, like you mentioned, it's not a breach ult. You're not going to win a round off of it,
right.
At least not most of the time.
Oh, well, I think the main thing is you have to be comboing it with other things. I think it's better to think of the Waylay ult as like a more powerful breach stun or Omen Paranoia, where you need to combo with other, big chunks of line control, the breach stun, the Paranoia, to fully clear away a site. So you could use that if you're trying to exec Z over on, back plat, where the breach stun hits back site. The Paranoia goes over towards
Say
logs.
like Paranoia left side and then Waylay off the right side, something like that. Get full coverage.
Cage trigger. It's a little bit less effective in solo queue than it might end up being for our pros.
EG out of that timeout, move away from the A lobby default instead, putting an emphasis in mid. Might just look to convert this one into a B hit. Down on the left side, dash up and over for Icy. Silence, trying to find this player. He's been spotted out now, and the trade instant from EG.
Bit of a mess on the site right now. 2G weren't able to get in for any control.
I think they might want to fight into C-Link here. Icy ready with an ultimate. He's gonna pop it. A-Link instead, the destination. Doesn't follow it up though. Just keeping these players sectioned off and sticking around. Buying time alone on this site. Two players C-Link. Icy ready for it, but Gobert, that's great from him to win that duel. Did Icy do enough? It's a question. A lot of time bought, and finally, first tap on the spike coming in as EG swing forward. No half defuse, no one left alive on this site as EG overwhelmed. Gobert needed more than that. And LZ, he's just got to run for the hills.
Yeah, Gobert just a little bit too slow to get out of garage. He was busy focusing on that C-Link fight before he went for the flank, and the rest of his team falling down. Just couldn't pull it together for 2G.
Gotta credit Icy, single-handedly buying 20 seconds alone on the spike site. He's been having a pretty great map thus far.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing about the Waylay ultimate, right? Is if you are able to use it in tight chokes like he did here, sending it over towards A-Link, then it becomes a guaranteed hit. It's just a great stall tool in the post plant.
One enemy remaining. My ult is ready.
It's now 3 rounds won in a row for EG. Icy's gonna buy up another Outlaw. I love how often EG's been investing that on their opponent's likely half armor rounds.
Ultimate coming out from Zap. That's a great tag from him, but Derek's got the moves. No stranger to the Sova. He only gets hit the one time.
Not Sova will now rotate into A though. 3 players here for 2G. But as is often the case, EG have an option to cancel and fall back into Ye's lurk. They're going for it though. Flash through, Icy scales up, gets his kill and dips out of there. Now the re-aggression. Sova spotted Nature, trying to take care of him with the trade again. Great from Icy, and Ye's lurk as well. Tries to mop this one up.
Ooh, now no one actually cleared short. Oski is waiting here, only a sheriff in hand. But he knows where the player planting is.
Spike planted.
Could expect Icy to maybe be in this
They're
corner.
clearing it though.
Not doing a great job of it, jumping into him. It's now a 2-on-2 and he's got the ult to dip into.
Doesn't see either player. Supa's made it through heaven. Askia desperately trying to find someone. Maybe now suspects it, but not in time. Supa swing successful in the clutch. Comes down to Gobera, but it's Ye on a timing instead. And EG locking up another round.
Just a different little look there. I think using the Waylay this time, right, because we have the sniper in hand with the Outlaw, it's a more calm approach into the site. Grab the pick, dip out, and then we're dashing in to be like the baiter entry, I guess. The rest of the team is running in, and then you're the second one to come in from behind. It's really unique stuff.
Take what's useful.
But the Waylay allows you to take more risks in how you enter the site than you would on Jet or Raze. If it goes wrong, you just refract straight out of there. I think Icy's taking full advantage. Here's a re-clear play into A. Oski is off, rings true for the first shot, and 2G will try and disengage. No! They send it back in and lose 2 players as a result.
That's tough. Silence is also trying to move because there's a Hunter's Fury coming at his forehead. Just straight into Supa's crosshair. If you check out outside garage right now, Ye is waiting to creep on forward for that. This C site super weak, just the camera. Gobert is tapped into right now to see the cross into garage.
Ye finally shows to that camera. Does that pull rotates back towards C?
Well, Oskia's teleport is timed out, so he'd now have to do the full sprint on over. 2G trying to play sticky over towards this A site with 2 players. But because this front B tripwire right now, there's a lot of control given from 2G. They're not too worried about getting walked up on, especially now that Gobert's crept into garage. Gobert could catch a nasty timing here. It's just a camera to watch his back, and Ye hasn't clicked into it.
Here he goes. Derek turning though, loses the fight.
Spike planted.
Gobert now gonna dip back away. As 2G have to group up for this retake. LZ holding things down, but only getting 1 kill as Oski is off. Takes down Ye. It's all onto Nature and Gobera. A very good shot from him. Wins 2G their 4th round now.
Yeah, that is a beautiful round from Gobera. Again, his garage was super weak, especially once he lost the camera. But going for that risky play down in numbers, right, where he has the 2 tripwires guarding B and C, he's like, okay, I'm going to run into garage. The only way we win the round is if I can steal back this space. After this early round, dipped away from them. And then winning the 2 duels there, locks it up for 2G.
And when you were watching 2G in Kickoff, it was pretty rough across the board, but I think you did see some solid moments from Gobera. He was one of the few players who did have a couple standout rounds. Good to see him keeping some of that form here in stage 1. Cam spots 3 down C long.
I must wait a moment.
No one to actually break that dart for Gobert. Might encourage EG to speed up into the site. There's that back flat smoke once again.
Icy ready for it. Stun onto the Cypher, but just contacting out instead. Gobert, how does he win that duel? He'll stick around in backside, ready to spam onto Supa. Successful at that deed, but can't get away with any more.
Hold on, 2G are still flooding into the site, using these cages that Gobert got off right before death to sneak back in, and Evil Geniuses have left the premises.
But this time, they don't have a great lurk to call back into.
And Zap's got a judge in garage door, so good luck. Yay.
Yeah, he avoids it though. Walks up B instead. Might have a duel against this ISO.
EG have really tried to deny any amount of information in these mid-rounds, playing super quiet after the minute mark, getting these slow creep-ins.
2G have the ISO ultimate though. They can let this spike plant go down,
30 seconds
kidnap
left.
one player, go for the retake off of that in what's essentially a 3v2. Shield up, here's that ult. Who does Silence get? They choke on the other side. Silence swings through and wrangles the shots in time. Now into a 4v2.
10 seconds left.
Ye finding that kill is absolutely massive. Derek out of the paranoia. I mean, Ye's just fighting forward. Evil Geniuses even down in numbers. Currently getting stepped around. LZ spines the player, but the shots just aren't there. It all comes into a one-on-one. Zap, the leader for 2G now. Time working against him. It's Ye on 4 for Evil Geniuses.
A stellar round from Ye. He's been having impact on his lurks all game. But in this one, stepping up individually as well.
10 seconds left.
Getting that shot onto Huskia. Just double dinking onto the ISO. It's looking clean for Ye.
Not too shabby. 12 and 6 right now.
Right alongside Icy.
It really has been him when EG are slowing down in the mid-rounds. Banking on what Ye can find so often. Here's a faster look again, going back to that early round defaulting EG were doing towards this A side of the map. 2G ready for a delayed fight, but their buy is scattered on the 12th round.
Another outlaw investment for Icy. No doubt a shorty beside that.
Yeah, and he's just loved placing the refract and then walking into sights instead of going for the instant double dash.
Running out of time on his refract. He lets it time out as Gobera takes a one-on-one against Ye. He loses it.
It's always Ye, isn't it? Now EG can speed up over into the A site.
The players in short are a problem for EG, but they have to pick an avenue of approach.
Look at that stun!
Husky is stuck in the corner. He's dead too. And Gobera, I mean, they're just falling left and right. Silence is down. And there's only one gun left to try and bail 2G out of this.
Yeah, LZ, his ultimate can't find anything. He's got to cancel that one. I mean, a beautiful round from EG against the half buy. Nature, that stun into short, killing both players was just crazy.
LZ, okay. Couple nice shots, but he wasn't going to get any more than that.
Not quite montage worthy.
No. EG though, that is a very nice half from them. I think just taking some really honest mid-rounds, putting Ye in positions to thrive on this lurk, and Icy as well. Looking great on the waylay to start.
Yeah, the calling from Nature too, very controlled consistently. Even when you are playing, you know, crazy entry duelists, you can also keep it a little bit more reserved at times.
Well, let's see what that waylay looks like on the defensive side when we return.
Oof, stuck paying for that old phone? Don't be. You know, at Verizon, we'll pay off your phone. And you'll get iPhone 16 on us. That's a value of up to $1,600, only on Verizon.
2G's newest player, Askia, had some moments in the first half of that game. Now they switch over to the attacking side, running the Yoru ISO, and I think this is where we're going to really get to see what he can do.
Yeah, honestly, I want to see a half where 2G can, play the tempo of Valorant they want to, play around Askia a little bit more, because it did certainly feel like when they got stalled out in these mid rounds, he wasn't able to find that same level of impact he had just finding the opening kills the first 3 rounds.
Defense, though, is where Waylay is a little bit more difficult to get right, so I'm excited to see what Icy has prepared for us.
Well, they're starting us off with double high lows in Garage and on the B site.
And that's exactly where 2G's heading. Superman up high, whiffing on the shots, loses his life for, but that's another great stun from Nature. The hinder to stall Icy.
And double players walking out of Garage at the same time, but 2G have dealt with it nicely. The 2-on-2 now, and oh no, Nature pings out Gobert with the flash. Now Silence on site, trying to navigate this in the 1v2. Nice shot from him, but 3 is not enough. Evil Geniuses take the pistol.
So much credit to Nature there. A fantastic stun to set Icy up for his 2K. Then swinging out himself, getting 2 kills on his own through Garage. Really, really good from EG's IGL.
Frustrating for 2G, because it felt like, they ended up dealing with Icy or just about getting there. And then they're getting wrapped out from Garage. There's still players on that B site. There's exactly the trap EG were hoping they would walk into.
Potter in the pre-show talked about EG being kind of a team of last chances, second chances, that kind of thing, and a lot of players that are an example of that. Ye1 stuck into this corner, does well with his stinger to clean up this eco round, but for Icy especially, he's had his chances. Ye, he's gonna give it to us. They want an ace. He's got his chance, of course. Ye converts. It's gotta feel good for him. Just a stinger against the Classics and an iBuyPower ace to come out.
That was a nice hold there. The tandem hold, because Ye mops up all the kills, but you gotta shout out Supa with the paranoia combo. There's also then a stun coming in from Nature from the A side of the map.
1 enemy remaining.
Gorgeous work.
Of course, that's your iBuyPower ace. They're giving away a $100 Riot gift card and $100 in iBuyPower rewards for every ace we get. iBuyPower on socials. #unlock your ace.
Already into the next round for 2G. A buy round for them. It's time to show up now. They avoided this early A main fight, saw the presence from Evil Geniuses over there, and now are working their way into a very empty B site. We'll see how active they get in the post plant. There's some options here to try and fight over into A link. For now, just putting that spike down, tucking in backside with Askia.
Just spam from Gobera.
We'll take that.
Yeah, that gets rid of the breach. A very big player to lose on this retake.
Silence is playing that angle so aggressively. He's got the shield up, so it makes sense. And EG timed that out perfectly.
Icy still with the dash. The refract to get back into this site. But 2G holding strong. Silence single-handedly denies the avenue of approach on the A side. 2G clean post plant on B.
Yeah, that's a good one for 2G. They hold on to 3 rifles, 2 players that bought full armor, kept all 50 of it, and the other player that survived had regen shield. So in terms of building up some hope here to come back, win a few rounds, that's the type of round 3 win you need.
These shots from Silence, not only do they look nice, but he's also earned himself that ISO ultimate here. A really great tool to play with on your attack side, and getting those ISO Yoru ults rolling is one of the keys to success with this composition.
Get those online. Hitting sites is just a breeze. See, right now they're playing pretty quick into Garage, wanting to take care of the Cypher util very fast. Maybe ulting on in to 1v1. Silence. Picked up, Supa deals with him, and that's the C site for 2G.
EG now having to play the retake down numbers. They used a stun at the beginning of the round, so won't have that tool just yet as Silence holding strong in Garage. Yay! Stunned down by Silence.
And at the same time, this Waylay's crept out into mid, so a flash into Garage, setting up for Icy, who's coming in around the corner on the flank. Has been spotted out, shows some presence here, and 2G are just knocking them down. EG a little bit loud on the approach, and well, the shield keeps him alive for a moment. Derek can pick up a couple of kills. 2G have done what they need to win this round.
No time really for Derek to work with. Wanted another exit kill, but he won't be given the chance. So 6 rounds for 2G. Starting to build something up on this attack.
I like this though from 2G, right? Because you think back to the first half, these slow mid rounds where EG were able to work the map. That's where 2G were faltering just a bit. This time, they just speed up directly into the C site. You know, once that stun line is gone from Nature, it's like, well, let's not waste any time. Let's just go, go, go. EG want to fight around their utility, and 2G decide not to really give them the chance.
Really good confidence from Silence too. Winning out in the ultimate, then single-handedly holding space in Garage. It's going to be a brawl towards A.
Hero rifle on Icy down sewers.
Paranoia catches on to some. Nature's flashing through. Icy up in the air. That's lovely from him. They have to look towards the sky, but Icy, silver space is welcome. And now 2G has flipped this round back into their control.
All right, it's fine. Look, the one rifle in Icy's hands could have done some insane work, but the angle trying to shoot down between his legs a little bit too much on that one. So Supa's gonna be able to find a gun off of that.
It's a 2v3.
Derek's gonna secure a rifle as well.
Husky is ahead of the rest of the team here.
2G got in this position in the last round's post-plant as well. It's so hard to play on the defensive side to work through these angles. It's just not going to happen. And the teleport into long off of it too. It was a bit silly.
Standing ahead.
Derek chose to pick up this Outlaw. And unfortunately only doing 140 to LZ.
And in the last few days, we've seen a lot more of these like half armor buys or regen shields. 2G went full heavy armor on the anti-eco, not trying to take any chances against EG.
Makes sense after how much Outlaw Icy was buying in the first half.
It's true. And also, just once you're down like this, you kind of just need to guarantee win the rounds.
It's always funny when someone gets into an angle that you never have to fight, like ever. You can see everyone a little befuddled to deal with Icy, but...
Because even Raze would have trouble getting up to that elevation when you have to double satchel from so low on the ground. You'd be like hitting your head
on the ceiling.
Yeah. But I like that little play, and you can always count on a coach like Potter to like come up with ideas like that when there's a new agent into the mix, a new map, whether it's angles you can abuse with the Sage Wall on Icebox, spam you can make happen, or even just little dash plays like that.
Now, though, the attention is more on finding a macro change up here. EG has lost 3 rounds in a row to 2G, which have honestly just been a lot of hard hits. 2G has been controlling this pace, kind of running it down with the Iso Yoru, but that's what their comp excels at.
Yeah, and the thing for EG is they had a lot of success in the first 2 rounds, right? On the Garage like trap play off the Paranoia stun line that Ye was able to find the ace with, of course. But then when the execs were working for 2G, EG just don't have the tools to like fast flood retake when they're using the early breach stun or something like this. So I'd like to see EG maybe go for more aggressive fights into the mid space using that utility, or try and fast flood out behind their Cypher cages on the C side of the map. Get active with this Waylay.
Opping on the Waylay.
Oh.
Bit more difficult than the Jet. You have a pretty limited time frame to use that refract. Now you have to pretty much be in cover to escape with the dash as well.
Come into the unknown.
It's a little bit more challenging to work with. Looks like Icy's going to be playing this one down from ground level as well.
A long control for 2G. And it's going to be a pretty open site if they want to just turn this into an exec.
It feels like 2G have kind of guessed perfectly how to approach this round out of the timeout, hitting an empty A site.
A full 5v5 retake. No ults, but Nature has all the util he could dream of. As the last players start to arrive, here comes the retake. Paranoia, stunned through Icy in the air, taken down by LZ, and it's only Nature to find the board. 2G shut EG out of the site.
That was a quick one. Zap's still having some fun out there. Honestly, what a strange round, right? Icy trying to double dash into the site, gets instantly plucked out. I think he had 2 players trying to drop out of heaven at the same time. So it's a nice idea for them, but again, this is a situation where you don't have a jet smoke or anything to buy time once you dash in. You're very much reliant on your teammates hitting perfect util to set up the entry.
Zap bringing the energy.
The decibel level in the studio is going off the charts.
2G. Spike still towards A, but LZ has an ult to bring it over. So just walking his way through as Husky's already contacted out onto the site, and it is yet again a 5v5 retake.
I mean, EG have 5 ults to play with. I don't know if they're going to actually use any of them here on the eco. But it's annoying how 2G play these post plants, right? Just leaving Oskia back on site. The rest of the team falls in pretty deep towards long. They've got the Sov ult to play with as well, so if EG take their time, yeah, this round's just going to slip away due to time.
EG for now, though, just trying to see if someone will overheat, give them a kill.
That's the thing, too. EG might honestly choose to die to Spike, as crazy as it sounds. They've already got all their ultimates.
They'll at least send Icy in with the Bucky. Not able to find anything there. The round is lost, but EG is dealing some damage, taking down a couple players, and LZ will fall as well. But with how rich 2G is, it's not the biggest deal for them.
Yeah, that ult advantage for EG, not even so meaningful. 2G have 4 of their own. They're only missing the Cypher. So no issues there. That's now 5 rounds in a row for 2G. They're going to have buys secured for every round moving forward. And they've kind of just beaten EG by running onto sites, as silly as it sounds. EG are playing for this heavy flood retake. Not even flood retake, heavy set retake. And it's not working.
2G have done a really great job of being ahead in these post plants and fighting into EG's retake.
Who's next?
Punishing them there. And you know, you're talking about the executes. Here we go again. It's a split into C with the Yoru all through, and yet again, EG has to play set retake.
How active does Oskia want to get here? Chooses to pull out of the ultimate. They put the spike down. And here's the thing. Again, 2G can just play active. Okay, that's a good opener from Ye.
It's you and me.
With an ultimate to pluck out Supa. This could take away smokes. This would make the post plan so simple for
Here's
2G.
The retake though. 2 ults used on in. Stove ultimate as well. Slowed down in spawn as Icy gets established on the line. Trying to hold this one down. There's a late flank coming, but for now it comes up to the stall. Nature sacrifices himself to get it halfway. But it leaves it down to Icy. He holds the spike, and no one stops him. How is that slipped away?
I mean, Zap goes for the 3rd Hunter's Fury charge there. The flank is slowed down because LZ, even though he ulted out of the Whaley ult, still got hindered. And even with a player in full vision, EG steal it away.
But credit to Ye. Got the kill on the lurker in garage.
I got active there, bro. I was going in.
And got active down low.
It's true, yeah.
EG finally break the streak.
Oh, is no one buying for Supa? That's tough. Well.
That's a bit of a tough spot.
Hold on, Nature's still back site though. Fake teleport into the back. 2G not looking to accelerate off this too much.
Yeah, they're going to cancel.
Yeah, hunting for Cypher tripwires or something before leaving Oskia here and resetting the round.
Honestly, a tough trade, though, losing your smokes this early in the round. Might make EG a bit more tempted to play the Flood retake this time.
2G now droning over into the A side, trying to make some presence in lobby. Already you can see they are successfully pulling a few rotates into the A side, but really setting up for a split into C through garage. Only the tripwire and this op to potentially spot out the split hit. But the timing here from 2G is everything, because as soon as this tripwire is broken, I don't think Supa can commit to this angle into long with his back exposed. So yeah, trip is broken. He's got to fall back onto this line. This is more achievable from 2G, but apparently not. Supa's going to get it.
4v3. Again, it's a retake for EG.
EG have 2 players working into mid, choosing not to go for the flank, instead regrouping with numbers.
But 2G fought into garage. And that's exactly where EG is heading. Call it off.
Oh my.
The flank is active. Gobert spotted one. How much can he get from this? Oskia holding strong, stalls things out. Another loop. Oh, he gets nothing. And Zap put in position to clutch. A wide angle, a first shot connecting. Zap! He gets them both.
I am loving seeing this version of Zap. The Red Bull clutch for him. And 2G on double digits. That smoke. He's playing around perfectly, getting active up there on the site. Popping off too.
And that is such a big round for 2G. EG's money is reset. And 2G are about to tie this game up.
Mimi, I don't want to start this too early.
The narrative?
But in Kickoff, EG had this really bad habit of getting up to double digits, 10 rounds, 11 rounds, and then proceeding to lose round after round after round. Games were slipping away. 2G winning, what, 6 of the last 7, has echoes of that Kickoff performance.
They've got to shore this up. But this round might not be the one to do it. 2G, yet again, do a great job of finding the weak site.
And even dodging away from some of the active looks of EG into mid, down C long. Now they've got a free plant A.
One shot. That's all Silence needs. The flood is coming in. Silence! Oh my, the aim is just impeccable from that man. And they are so loud whenever this team wins a round.
Starting to get that momentum behind them.
And it was all about momentum when they won Ascension, when they made it here. It was Zap yelling like he is now, winning rounds like that.
Yeah, show that clutch again. I love it.
And Silence, he was the guy that they needed. You're missing your star player. He's not old enough to play in the league. Silence has to fill a lot of those shoes. So that's a Red Bull clutch, and EG going into their second time out of the half.
Didn't need any of those in the first, but yeah, apart from the pistol in round 2, they've won a single rifle round, Mimi. And even that wasn't pretty. That was a losing post plant that they just stuck the defuse on. Nothing has been working for this team right now. And I really think a lot of it, to me, is around the retakes. I don't think that when Icy has been dashing into the site, there's been support behind him, right? Again, it is the weakness of this agent when the follow-up is not there, when the utility isn't catching every single player. I think for EG, it's less about playing for the retake and more getting active. I would love to see Icy play around the center of the map, B, garage, get out in front of mid, instead of playing for the A lobby control, and react quickly to flood out onto the sites before 2G have actually planted.
Yeah, Icy had a stunning first half. He's had about 5 kills in the second. They've been just feeding him into the meat grinder on these retakes. And 2G have been very happy to receive.
Looks like EG are going to go for this full-on fight over the A lobby space. Paranoia sent over from the B site.
2G keeps finding the weak site. Whenever EG call an active play, they pick the right site.
It's unbelievable. Silence also with the kidnap for the post plant if they want it.
It's you and
Dart
me.
sees nothing, and the ultimate is not going to connect. Still, that means free plant, and keep your eyes on Gobert in window. If EG try to flank, he could be finding 2-3 kills.
Here's the drone and backs away in mid.
No way!
How is he ready for that? He's still going to be a problem. Holding things down as Zap swings in and trades out onto Icy. 2G change their approach. They fight towards spawn. As EG begin to approach this site, Yay out, but a walk up from long. Zap ready to go. Needs to be massive as there's 2 players awaiting him in this corner. There's the first, but Derek good on the swing. Now a 1v1. LZ. That's exactly where Yay is. Baits him out with the gun, backs away. Yay desperately trying to find something. The Cypher Trip hitting on down. How is that the way EG went around? That should have been impossible.
I don't know, maybe it's close. 3-2 for EG. And Yay clutches it up.
The Cypher Trip that wasn't broken in garage.
Ridiculous. And teleporting over it only to re-hit it. Once he was already past it.
One enemy remaining.
Is this really how EG win their rounds?
The bag may have just been fumbled. Because that's 12 for EG now. Off of a third of a second difference.
At the end of the day, Mimi, a win is a win. EG are going to take that, and this time setting up aggressively into the mid space. But 2G go for a teleport back into spawn, and the rest of the team works A.
Derek was ready. LZ dead in an instant. And now no smokes for this execute, for this post plant. And Derek with an ult ready to go.
Icy has gotten all the way into mid window. Could try to jump up and over this tripwire on the other side, but Zap will hear it playing into long.
Zap needs to live. He has the Hunter's Fury.
Good info, especially for the lurker.
Hunter's Fury popped from both teams. Icy loses the fight on the flank. And into the site now, EG go. Askia, so good at holding it. Nature! He's better! 2v3 now. A lot of time already bought as Nature starts to hold on the spike. The shock darts, they need to connect. They do! Zap! It's not enough! Supa wins it at the end. And EG, by the scruff of their neck, they take map 1.
Looks of shock, sighs of relief from the EG side. They got the win at the end there, but it was a journey to see it through. 2G put up a fight in that second half. I mean, that was scary out of them.
It takes back-to-back, honestly, miracle rounds for EG to win that game.
Straight up.
In what was, a 9-3 half to start?
I mean, I don't think EG won a single honorable round in the second half.
That's why they're evil. A win's a win, though. Somehow they squeak away with this one.
And by the way, Nature, right? You just saw in that round absolutely popping off. Also in that final round, like, I don't know how he was getting some of the kills he got, jumping out of heaven on the retake.
Well, 2G, they are definitely here to play today. A close map 1 against Evil Geniuses. We head over to their choice, Lotus, when we return from the break.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Ain't no stopping me, I'm on a roll. New age prodigy, I got it all. Come for the ride, we bout to let it go.